Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try to fit in, the world seems to speak a language you simply do not understand? Do you feel that your struggles are disproportionately intense, yet your intuition remains inexplicably strong? If you are nodding in agreement, you are not alone. But let's be clear, being a chosen one is not about superiority or being better than others. It is about a specific, often heavy, mission. It is a divine assignment that requires a different kind of preparation. And as we journey through these signs, pay close attention to signal number 7. It is the ultimate separator between those who merely have talent and those who carry a divine purpose. To understand this, imagine a young man named Elias. In his modern city, Elias is a shadow. He works in a glass-walled office, surrounded by people chasing promotions and digital applause. Yet Elias feels like a stranger in his own life. While his colleagues find joy in the noise of the weekend, he finds himself drawn to the silence of the stars. He possesses a thirst for truth that makes the superficiality of his environment feel like a suffocating weight. He is the classic odd one out, the person who sees the cracks in the walls that everyone else calls perfection. This is signal 1, the feeling of not belonging. Like the biblical Joseph, who was a dreamer among brothers who only saw the land, Elias is being kept apart for a reason. His isolation isn't a flaw, it is a spiritual distancing. He is being preserved from the common mold so that he can eventually lead. But right now, all Elias feels is the sting of being strange. He doesn't yet realize that his intense intuition is a compass, and his feeling of exile is actually a protection. As the sun sets on this chapter of his life, the whispers of his soul are about to be drowned out by a much louder, more painful transformation. The world he doesn't fit into is about to push him out entirely. The subtle discomfort Elias felt in the office was merely the breeze before the hurricane. Soon, the language he didn't understand became a wall of silence. In a staggering sequence of events, Elias loses the very things he used to anchor his identity. His position at the firm is eliminated, a long-term relationship dissolves overnight, and a betrayal by a trusted friend leaves him questioning his own judgment. This is the moment where the story of a chosen one becomes a survival narrative. This phase represents signal 2, the hardest version of life. Elias watches from the sidelines as others, people who lie, cheat, and cut corners, seem to be rewarded with ease. Meanwhile, he who has always sought the higher path is met with closed doors and cold winds. He feels as though he is being punished for his goodness. However, the spiritual reality is the opposite. He is being prepared. You cannot pour new wine into old wineskins. To carry a divine mission, the old structures of Elias's ego, his reliance on a paycheck, his need for social approval, and his attachment to his comfort zone must be dismantled. This leads directly into signal 6, forced isolation. As his resources vanish, so does his social circle. Elias finds himself in a divine quarantine. The phone stops ringing, and the invitations to the noise of the world cease. He is now in the desert. In the Bible, the desert was never a place of abandonment, but a place of encounter. For Elias, the silence is at first terrifying. Without the hum of the city or the feedback of his peers, he is forced to face the one person he has been avoiding, himself. In this isolation, the hardest version of life begins to reveal its true purpose. Elias starts to realize that when everything was taken away, he didn't disappear. Instead, he became lighter. The fire of the desert is burning away the chaff, the fake parts of his personality that he created to please a world he never belonged to anyway. He is being forged like a blade. You don't hammer a piece of metal that has no potential. You hammer the one that is destined to become a masterpiece. As Elias sits in the quiet of his empty apartment, the bitterness starts to transform into a strange, sober peace. He is no longer fighting the current, he is learning to float. And it is in this total surrender, at the lowest point of his life, that his eyes begin to change. He is about to stop seeing with his physical eyes and start seeing with his soul. In the profound silence of his desert, Elias begins to experience a shift in his perception. The noise of the world has faded, and in its place, a new frequency emerges. He is no longer distracted by the shadow play of daily life. He is starting to see the mechanisms behind the curtain. This is the moment where the chosen one moves from being a victim of circumstances to becoming a witness of truth. This transformation manifests as Signal 5, acute discernment. Elias notices that when he does interact with the few people left in his life, he can read them with unsettling accuracy. He senses the hidden sorrow in a grocery clerk's voice and detects the subtle pulse of envy or dishonesty in a stranger's casual remark. It is as if he has been granted a spiritual compass that vibrates whenever he is in the presence of falsehood. This isn't a gift of judgment, but a tool for navigation. God is giving Elias the eyes to see who is for him and who is merely with him. Accompanying this clarity is Signal 8, strong dreams and intuition. Elias's nights become a secondary reality. His dreams are no longer chaotic fragments of the day. They become vivid, symbolic, and instructional. He finds himself waking up with answers to problems he hadn't yet voiced, or a sudden, unshakable knowing that he should avoid a certain path or reach out to a specific person. The transition is pivotal. Elias is learning that his previous feeling of not belonging was actually a byproduct of this dormant vision. He didn't fit in because he was designed to see through the very illusions that others were living for. However, as Elias begins to trust this new sight, he realizes that standing in the truth makes him a target. He is gaining power, but that power creates a friction with the world he left behind. He's about to learn that the light he carries is both a beacon and a shield. As Elias emerges from his period of isolation, he carries a presence that he didn't have before. He isn't seeking attention, yet he finds that he cannot avoid it. This is where the protagonist encounters the most confusing part of the journey, the paradox of being a light in a dark world. He begins to notice Signal 4, involuntary magnetism. Total strangers are drawn to him. People in line at the coffee shop or sitting on a park bench suddenly feel an urge to share their life stories with him, often confessing things they've never told anyone else. They are subconsciously reacting to the divine peace he cultivated in the desert. Elias has become a well where thirsty souls come to drink. However, this same magnetism triggers a darker reaction in others. This brings us to Signal 7, attacks without explanation. This is the signal we mentioned at the very beginning, the one that separates mere talent from a divine purpose. Elias finds that some people, including former acquaintances and even family, start to treat him with a strange, unprovoked hostility. He hasn't done anything to harm them. In fact, he is kinder than ever. Yet his mere presence seems to irritate them. They gossip about him, try to diminish his achievements, or project their own insecurities onto him. Elias learns that these people aren't reacting to him, but to the light he carries. To those comfortable in the shadows, light is an intruder. This friction serves as Signal 9, the loss of the fear of rejection. For the first time, Elias doesn't try to win them over. He doesn't apologize for his existence. He realizes that if he is rejected by the world, it is because he has been accepted by something much higher. He stops trying to be a people pleaser and starts being a purpose seeker. He is no longer a victim of his environment. He is a diplomat of a different kingdom, and his shield is his unwavering integrity. The journey that began with a lonely ache in a glass office has finally reached its destination. Elias is no longer the strange man wandering the fringes of other people's lives. He has found his center. The trials of the desert, the clarity of the vision, and the friction of the world have all served a singular purpose: to turn a fragile vaso de barro, a vessel of clay, into a vaso de honra, a vessel of honor. This final stage is defined by Signal 10, a burning desire to serve. Elias realizes that his journey wasn't for his own benefit. The wisdom he gained through suffering and the discernment he received in the silence were not trophies to be kept, but tools to be shared. He begins to walk through life with a new mission, to be a bridge for those still lost in the desert. He speaks truth, not to be right, but to set others free. The transition is now complete. The protagonist has integrated the thirst for truth, Signal 3, into a life of action. He no longer fears the attacks or the isolation because he knows that he is anchored in a purpose that the world did not give and, therefore, the world cannot take away. He looks back at his life and realizes that every closed door was a divine redirection, and every moment of loneliness was an invitation to a deeper intimacy with the Creator. As the story of Elias concludes, the message to you becomes clear. If you have felt these 10 signs, the exile, the fire, the vision, and the attacks, do not be afraid. You are not broken, you are chosen. Your life is not a series of accidents. It is a meticulously crafted script. The question is no longer why me, but what now? Your mission is waiting, and like Elias, it is time for you to step out of the shadows and into the light you were born to carry.